Judge Janine, I hate to do this, but when the President of the United States walks in, this is yours, sir. How are you?
I'm very good.
You're not even tired, are you?
I'm not that tired. I'm excited because we had an incredible day today in Ohio. We had an incredible time in Indiana. And now we're with you.
You left nothing on the field. 11 stops, 11 cities.
No, but I feel very guilty about interrupting Judge Janine. I don't like doing that.
She'll give you an earful about it probably soon. The closing arguments seem to be the same. I started my show tonight and I said, this is where we were 2 years ago. This is the record of Obama.
Right.
By the way, the biggest joke I saw this weekend is him saying, a guy that said, you didn't build that. I started this. And I'm like,
no. It's ridiculous. It is. And frankly, if their agenda kept going forward, meaning if the other side had won, we would have been down 4.2 or 6 or 7. We were going down. It was very bad when I took it over. And if we didn't open it up and cut regulations, the whole Obama thing would have collapsed. It would have been a disaster.
4.5 million jobs in less than 2 years.
Yeah.
4.3 million Americans off of food stamps. 4 million Americans out of poverty. A path towards energy independence. You spent $3.5 billion on the border wall, and I know you're disappointed. You want the rest.
Well, I want to build it in one time, and you need it, and you see it. But now we have the incredible military forces out there, and they're putting up barbed wire fences. We have a barbed wire wall, and you see that, what they're doing, highest level. And we are making it very strong. We're making it very, the whole thing in terms of the military, plus the back wall, and plus the barbed wire. Plus we have a lot of digging going on, a lot of trenching. And people aren't going to come into our country without going through the legal process. You can't do that. Otherwise, you have no country.
We want you to come. Just come legally.
The whole plan of the Democrats, I got $700 billion for the military. The next year I got 716. We've totally rebuilt our military. But they fight like you've never seen to make sure we don't build a wall. And I've got $1.6 billion, another $1.6 billion, and a third $1.6 billion. I'm building it in nice, large pieces, but I'd like to build it all at one time. Their whole plan is to try and make sure that we don't build the wall. That's the whole thing. The number is peanuts compared to what we did with the military.
You see the study last week, $70,000 per illegal immigrant in this country that we pay. That's that's education, healthcare.
We lose $100 billion a year on illegal immigration. We lose that in 1 year. If you spent the money to build a wall, it's just a tiny fraction of 1 year. We're going to build it, but that's not. We are very strong now. We have the worst laws anywhere in the country: catch and release, visa lottery. All of these laws are a disaster. We have the worst laws. We've got to get them changed. The Democrats won't give us any votes. We need Democrat votes. You can't. We don't have enough Republicans, or unless we elect a lot of Republicans tomorrow. But I will say that we're doing really well on illegal immigration, considering we have the worst laws you've ever seen. We're moving thousands of MS-13 out of the country. They're being put into jails, and they're being sent out of the country. And frankly, in a lot of ways, I like out of the country for more, because putting them into jail, let them solve it. But we've moved thousands of MS-13 gang members. We moved them out of the country.
We have close races in Florida. You were down, I was watching you last night in Florida. Indiana, you take the Libertarian out, Joe Donnelly loses by 10. Montana now, you have the Republican Rosendale up by 3.
Yeah.
You have, in this state, Josh Hawley up by 3. You have, in Nevada, Dean Heller holding on by 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Arizona, I don't know how a woman that supports Americans fighting with the Taliban even gets 5% of the vote, but it's apparently a little tight race with Martha McSally, a war hero.
I think Martha is great. She is a hero. She flies. She's one of the best fighter pilots. I mean, she was really good. I spoke to some of the people that went with her and were with her. They said she was tremendous as a pilot. I don't know how she could possibly lose. The other one, she's just terrible.
Yeah.
And you talk about border walls. The other one doesn't want any border walls. She doesn't want any protection, nothing. But I think Martha's going to do well, and I think North Dakota's going to do well. Florida's a very, very close race, and it's inconceivable because
it's always
Bill
close
Nelson,
in Florida. It wasn't that close for you, though. You did okay in Florida.
We did great, but Bill Nelson is a terrible senator.
It was funny.
He never
you gave a
called
speech
me
the other night. You said, I've never talked to him. And then he took credit.
He's never once called me saying, can I have something for the people of Florida? Never once. 2 years, almost 2 years. Whereas, I must say, Rick Scott, that's all he does is call.
Rolls up his
sleeves. He wants things. Look at the great job he did with the hurricanes. I mean, he did a fantastic job. Lake Okeechobee, they had a big problem. He's taking care of Lake Okeechobee. But Bill Nelson, the current senator, never calls. So hopefully for the good of the people of Florida. And also, I have to say, Ron DeSantis has to be governor. You can't let a
40%.
man that ran Tallahassee into the ground, highest murder rate they've ever had, corrupt, crime-ridden. It's a disaster. You can't let him be the governor of Florida. That would be a disaster. Ron DeSantis, Harvard, Yale, good guy, hard worker. I think he's going to be a great governor, but it's a very close race.
You want to make a closing argument. You know what's interesting? Because I watched the media. They're trying to define this as the Trump midterm. They kind of forgot that.
Unless we win, in which case they'll go away.
No, then they'll go to Russia. Then they'll go back.
They'll go back to Russia.
They'll go back to Russia. Right. But it was funny. Bill Clinton lost about 54 seats in the House. Obama lost 60-some-odd seats in the House. I love how Nate Silver, who said you had a 20% chance of winning on the day of the election, predicting, 85% chance. But then you read the article, it says, well, there can be anywhere between 15 and 60. I could predict 15 and 60. I don't have to do any, polls to find that out. So it's the American people that decide. It's getting out in midterms.
There is something going on, though, Sean. I leave Ohio. Thousands and thousands of people can't get into this massive arena. I just left Indiana. Thousands and thousands of people outside can't get. There's something going on. There's an electricity that feels like 2016.
Mr. President, on the way in here, it was pouring all day here. 4 hours. I went out for an hour. I'm actually sweating more than I like, almost like Marco Rubio that day. And I like Marco, don't misunderstand me. But I went out there an hour before the show, and the crowd is electric. Every hat I signed, it wasn't a Hannity hat. I wish I had a penny for every one of the Make America Great hats I signed today. But every hat was soaking wet. There's a bigger crowd outside than there is inside.
True.
What do you want to say to the Americans? We have about 30 more seconds. Am I right on the?
Well, I'm just
90 seconds. Okay.
I'm just honored because no matter where I go, it's the same way. It's not like just in Ohio or just in Indiana or just right here in Missouri. I'm so honored by it. There's something going on. And it reminds me of 2 years ago when I knew something was going on, and you knew it, by the way, and people that were with us knew it. They were looking at each other. I remember, I'll never forget, two sort of anti-reporters were looking at each other as I was making a speech with 32,000 people. They were going wild. Look, that was a great time, and I think this is going to be a great time.
Election day, I actually called you. I said, you're going to get bad news about 5:30 or 5:15 that afternoon. You lost Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and you won them all. Polls don't mean anything, do they?
Right.
The poll that matters is tomorrow.
I lost them based on the fake news.
Fake news.
But about 2 hours later, when they counted the actual votes, we won very easily.
The home of Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, yeah. Great guy.
And Cape Girardeau is hometown America for you. Right. Mr. President, good luck.
Thank you very much.
You left it all on the field.
Well,
and that's the way it should be.
We did, and I think going to be
You
an
missed my opening
day.
monologue tonight.
I did. No, I saw it on the plane. Actually, I saw it on the plane.
I'll go find
I
it.
never miss your opening monologue.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
Mr. President,
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you
Great to be with you. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. All right, we're out of time. Let not your heart be troubled. The news continues. Laura Ingraham is standing by. Laura, how are you? You want to say hi to the President?
Hi, Mr. President.
Hi, Laura.
Are you going to close
She
this
really,
or what?
You are doing some job.
You're doing.
We're very proud of her.
She's laughing. And why do you always get the compliments all the time? You got the interview last week. You get the compliments.
Oh my God!
And here I am.
I don't know who's more competitive,
wet.
you or the President. It's a tie. Okay,
the
two most competitive people ever.
I'm competitive.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
I will say this. I think everybody's met their match. I don't think anyone has your energy level. You love this. You really love this.
Well, I love what we're doing for the country. I love what we're doing for the people. It's turned around. We're rebuilding our military. Our vets now have Veterans Choice, which they've never had. 44 years they were trying to get it. We're just doing a good job. And we have the strongest economy we've ever had in the history of our country. And
went
you know
through
that.
every record. One question you want me to ask the President on your behalf, Laura? Go ahead.
Mr. President, the American people are, I think, desperate for calm and unity. What message tonight are you going to give to them as we move forward, looking to the horizon of the future in this country?
American people looking for calm and unity? This is a divided country in many ways. What message do you have for Americans?
Well, I think success will do that. I think we have to get over this election, see how it comes out. It'll be an interesting time. But I think, and I really think we have to do that first. I think success is going to do. We're having the most successful time financially, economically that we've ever had. I think that's going to bring a lot of people together. It's going to start.
Okay. Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Laura, have a great show. It's great to see you in Missouri. My final word to everybody is Go vote.
All right,
Go shock the world.
Absolutely.
Do it again. Just imagine the payoff when you look at the media's face tomorrow. Oh, they'll crack up. That will be worth the price of admission.
Hannity,
Have a great night.
Hannity, great
Thank you all
show.
for being
Thanks
with
so
us.
much.
Please welcome Rush Limbaugh.
Sorry, everybody, we have to mute the volume as Rush Limbaugh comes on stage because YouTube doesn't like when we play songs like that. They hit us with copyrights, and then they will block this video afterwards, so we have to play it safe. But as soon as Rush comes onto the stage, we will definitely unmute the audio. We are big fans, and we also like the song as well. We wish we could play it, but you have to talk to YouTube about that because we have videos blocked all the time. So let's hear what Il Rushbo has to say. In just a second. He's firing up that crowd. Sorry we have to do this, but we just have to. Otherwise, no one will be able to watch this afterwards.
Thank you all very, very much. What an honor. What an honor. This is so exciting. I have been watching Trump rallies from the very first one. And to be part of one, folks, I'll tell you, it's the night of a lifetime. You know, this is backstage. You all are so great. This thing it's electric in here, folks. You people at home. This is unreal. I am so hoping that in a few short minutes you start chanting something else. Maybe you'll do. No? I was just talking to people backstage, and somebody said that the president and all of us have been labeled by some Democrats in the media divisive. Divisive? The Democrats haven't even accepted they lost the election in 2016. That's what this is all about. It's serious stuff. All of this. I mean, for crying out loud, folks, you look at what happened the last 2 years. For 2 years ago, year and a half, every day, every newspaper, New York Times, Washington Post, anonymous intelligence sources, confirming that Trump colluded with Putin to steal the election. There's no evidence for it. Zilch, zero, nada. It didn't happen. It was made up. Hillary Clinton colluded with Russia. Hillary Clinton rigged an election. The message. They got the message. These rallies, I have to tell you, they are the envy of official Washington. You realize there isn't a single elected official in either party who could do what this is tonight. Other than Donald Trump, there's no one. No one. And they're jealous. They are envious. This isn't supposed to happen. You people are supposed to love them, not Trump. And so guess what? They want to get in on it. Bill and Hillary Clinton and their national stadium tour. Talking about, have you seen Obama? He's been stumping down in Florida where I live. He's drawing crowds of 1,000 people, 2,000 people. Joe Biden can't fill a phone booth because he's looking for somebody to punch out. This is incredible. And you know, a little history. When I first started watching the campaign, I watched the president and his family come down the escalator in June of 2015, and I heard his opening remarks, and I said, there's no way. And then I saw the first polls, and then I saw the first one of these, and I said, he's going to win because he has a connection. There is no other politician with a connection to voters like this. Nobody has it. And Washington can't stand it. I'm not kidding. The establishment cannot stand it at all. Now, folks, in all candor, you know, we're a nation, great nation, at risk in a dangerous world, and much of the risk that we face is internal. Well, you know, it's like they tell me that we're divisive and so forth, and they haven't accepted the fact that they lost the election. So now, let's look at the caravan just for an example. They think that the president doesn't want the caravan, you don't want the caravan, because we're racist or sexist. Not it at all. It's an issue of law. Why should we stand aside and let people break the law? What's so hard about this? We just stand aside, let them violate the law? We get all these labels thrown at us, and we love our country, and we want the best for everybody in it. We want the best for our kids and our grandkids. We want everybody to be great. We want everybody to experience the American dream. It was, you know, I'm from here, I'm from Cape Girardeau, and it was, now don't take this wrong, but 50 years ago was the first time I was 16, first time I was told that I wasn't good enough to succeed in radio. Now, don't misunderstand, we're all told this. We all know how to fail. We don't need to go to the library to find books on how to fail because we all know how to do it. You'll never go to the library and find a book, Great Moderates in American History or Great Committees in American History. Donald Trump wants America to be great again, and it's not a slogan, it's an objective. And it is... I love you all too. This crowd is just... I asked the president if I could speak for 30 minutes. You know, I've got a 10-minute limit here. He said no. He can't wait to come out and talk to you. It's an amazing thing that Donald Trump has done. You know, Donald Trump doesn't need any of the grief that he gets. Donald Trump doesn't need any of it. Donald Trump could do and has done whatever he wants. He's one of the most successful people in America, and he doesn't need this. He doesn't need to put up with the abuse. He doesn't need to put up with the... But he does. He does because he sincerely believes that America's headed in the wrong track, and it needs to be put back on the right track. They say we're divisive. They say we're divisive. But we're not divisive. We're defending an America that is strayed from our founding. Nothing to do with race, nothing to do with gender, nothing to do with any of these identity politics labels. It has to do with culture. It has to do with protecting and defending the Constitution. It has, pure and simple. So I think it's a wonderful thing that you've come out here tonight. I could not be more honored to be part of one of these rallies. You know, the bond, folks, I'm telling you, the bond that exists between you and everybody else that's been to a Trump rally is something that politicians envy, and the people in Washington really haven't taken the time to understand why you voted for Trump. They just think you're stupid for doing so. And there's so much to learn about why you have. There's so much to learn about the potential greatness for America, to learn why you're here, why you support Trump. But they just chalk it up to the fact, well, you're not educated. Well, you're poor. Yeah, you're this or that. And you're angry. You're not angry. You love people. You want your country to be the greatest it can be. And you finally got somebody willing to help you do it. Somebody to stand up for you. Somebody to stand with you. We are hanging by a thread. Do you realize, folks, there is nobody, I should say nobody, there's some on the Republican side who would attempt to do what the president's done. But for the most part, there's nobody who would do what Donald Trump has done. Nobody would buck the system. Nobody would take it on. If he hadn't run, who among anybody in politics could you have glommed onto to have this kind of chance to make America great again? There wasn't anybody that was actually standing for this. Everybody gets caught up in what's going on in Washington, inside the establishment. You were being ignored. You weren't being listened to. You weren't being paid any attention to it. Even now, the real anger at Trump is actually aimed at you for having elected him. But he doesn't need this. He puts up with this, and thank God he does. Because he's indefatigable. The man simply doesn't get tired. He doesn't wear out. For those of you, there's somebody from Rio Linda here. Indefatigable, doesn't get tired. Just keeps going and so forth. Without any further ado, folks, thank you so much. It's been great. It's great to be here, be part of this. Raise the roof, because here he comes, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, worked for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. There's pride in every show me heart, and it's time we stand and say there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Thank you very much, Missouri. You are incredible, incredible people. Wow. And we never said to Rush, he's got 8 minutes. Rush can have 2 hours, 3 hours. There's nobody like him. There never has been anybody like him. I was speaking to Sean Hannity backstage. Do we love Sean, by the way? And Sean said, there is nobody like this man. And he's a real good guy. Although he's tough. He's tough. But boy, I'll tell you what, when he's on your side, there's nobody you want better. I mean, it's really great. It's really great. When he's with you. The biggest of all time at what he does. I also want to thank my good friend Lee Greenwood. How about Lee? So we were in Tennessee last night, and Lee was there. And I get that. But this was a surprise tonight. But you know, that song is one of the great songs. But when he's singing to you, like, direct, we really like that song, right? We really, and we like Lee Greenwood. And he's been with us from the beginning. He's been with us absolutely from the beginning. And while we're talking about incredible people, let's get it over with, right? So I have a few people that are right out here, and they're very special. They've done an incredible job for us. They've been with us from the beginning also. I'm going to start by saying, Sean Hannity, come on up, Sean Hannity.
By the way, all those people in the back are fake news. Mr. President, I did an opening monologue today, and I had no idea you were going to invite me up here. And the one thing that has made and defined your presidency more than anything else, promises made, promises kept. 4.5 million new American jobs, 4.3 million Americans off food stamps, 4 million Americans out of poverty, and we're not dropping cash loads of cargo planes of cash to Iranian mullahs that chant death to America. Mr. President, thank you.
And we don't mean at all to insult. Look at the size of the media back there. That's a lot of people. And you do have, honestly, I see you have some very fine people back there, but you have some that aren't so fine. But we don't want to insult, but I have to do this also because there's a woman on Saturday night that treats us very, very well. And she does it with love and with passion for the country. Not for me. It's not a passion for me. It's a passion for the country. And I really believe it's a passion for you because we've together formed the single greatest political movement in the history of our country. She understands it. And she's understood it from day one, and she did this little show, and she was just going to do it, a little fun, and then it became this tremendous success, and she has got viewership like you wouldn't believe, and she speaks from the heart. Her opening monologue is always exciting. It's always exciting, and it's always brilliant, and she's my friend, and she's your friend, Justice Janine.
Thank you. fact that we are now in the longest, strongest economic growth streak in American history? Do you like the fact that this man is the tip of the spear who goes out there every day and fights for us? If you like the America that he is making now, you've got to make sure you get out there tomorrow. If you haven't voted yet, everyone you know, your grandmother, your cousin, your kids, even your next door neighbor, if you don't like them, get them out to vote for Donald Trump and all the people who are running for the Republican Party.
We've got to have them be very careful with those stairs, because she just did a great job, but we don't want her to fall going down those stairs because they will be decimated. Janine has been a great, great friend to all of us. You know that. Also, we have some terrific people that have been with us, and they've worked for us, and they've taken the slings, the arrows, and they're so strong, so tough, so smart. I just want to introduce somebody, and I said today twice, in Ohio, where we had a crowd like this, and outside there were thousands and thousands of people. And then we went to Indiana, where we had a crowd like this, and there were thousands and thousands of people outside. And I just want to say, there's something happening out there, folks. There's something happening out there. Now, you don't know, and I'm not on the ticket, although they want to put me on the ticket. I will say this. If we don't do so well tomorrow, they will put me on the ticket. If we do great tomorrow, they will say he had nothing to do with it. He was not on the ticket. But that's okay. We're all getting used to each other. Does that look like the Academy Awards back there? Look how many people there are. Look how many, the Academy Awards. That's the Academy Awards. And you know the bad thing? We can have these massive crowds. And this is my third one today this way. You know, that's not supposed to happen. That's not. Somebody said it's not humanly possible. I said, I guess it is. But you know, these events, they say you do one a month and then you recover, and then you do another. But you don't do 3 in one day. These have been incredible. And yesterday, we were in Georgia. We had the biggest crowd you've ever seen, working for the man who hopefully will become the next governor of Georgia. He's a great, great person, and I think he's going to do very well. They had a lot of celebrities going out there, but the celebrities drew flies. They just drew flies. They didn't have much of a draw, but he's going to be fantastic. But I want to introduce a person who, from day one, she was just smart, even though she's my daughter. She was just smart. No, don't worry. I'm smart also, and we're smart. Hey, you know, while I'm at, don't you love it when they talk about the elites, right? The elites. Come, honey. When they talk about the elites, I want to tell you, this is the elites. Ivanka, say a few words. Come, honey.
Hi, Missouri. We love you. We love you. So much love. And we are fighting for you every single day. This president, this administration is fighting so that all Americans can achieve the American dream, and that's what's happening. The economy is roaring, and tomorrow is about ensuring that it stays that way. So really, thank you for being out here. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your energy. It's just an amazing honor. We love you.
Be careful with those stairs, everybody. Be careful with those stairs. Now, they talk about the elites. The elites. Well, I know all the elites. They're not very smart in many cases. They have a lot of hatred in their heart. I don't know about you, but many of you went to better schools than they did. We did better in the schools than they did. We have better houses, homes, boats. We do better than they do. We work harder than they do. We make more money than they do. Why are they called the elites? But let's let them be called the elites because we are the super elites. We are the super elites. We are doing well. We are doing well. There's some people out there. But I said just before Sean had me on, and I said, what's going to bring us together? This incredible success. I think it's going to eventually, we have to get the election over with, but I think at some point, they're going to say, okay, it's time. We give in. We give in. Let's all get together. At some point, that's going to happen. But being a negotiator, I have to follow it up with this. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. So, 3 people that have helped us so incredibly. Very special women that have been unbelievable from day one. I'd like to bring up Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That's pretty good. She's fantastic. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Wow, that's pretty good. How about letting her do the first part of my speech? Good idea? Also, Kellyanne Conway. And a woman who was involved very early on. We had the great state of Michigan. It hadn't been won in many, many years by a Republican. It was said to be unwinnable. I was told, don't even contend for Michigan. And then I met a woman who had a lot of drive and a lot of energy. And she said, I'd love to run Michigan. I said, I heard it was unattainable. She said, they love you in Michigan. And they want their car industry back because their industry was taken to Mexico and Canada and other places. And you don't like that. And you don't like that. No, I don't. And by the way, it's all coming back, folks. You see what's happening. It's all coming back. It's all coming back. And she worked so hard. And that beautiful evening in November when they started counting the ballots. And we won Florida. And we won South Carolina, and North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And we did win Indiana, that's for sure. And we won Ohio, remember? Remember they used to say, you cannot win unless you win the great state of Ohio. We won Ohio very easily. And Bob Paduchek, who ran that campaign, is here. We love Ohio. Those are incredible people. But what happened was a surprise, because in the midst of all, they said, and Donald Trump has just won the state of, before Michigan, Wisconsin. And everyone go, whoa, 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 right? They said, whoa, what's this? What's this? That one was, not where did that come from? But we've done a great job, and they're great people. And we opened it up for the dairy farmers in Wisconsin. We opened up Canada with our New Deal for the first time. They like us. Great deal. But then it said, and we're running a string. And this is when they started getting extremely nervous. And a very nice guy named John King for CNN. You know, he has the board, the red board. And his hand is like starting to shake. Oh. Because that board had so much red on it, they've never seen anything like it. They didn't know what was happening. Right? That board was red. That board was red. I remember when North Carolina, great state, incredible people, incredible. And the opponent, let's be nice, the opponent said very strongly in the straw that is their firewall. They cannot lose that. They have it made, except for one problem. Donald Trump won the state of North Carolina. Won the state. But then out of the blue, they said, oh, there was some crying, These people are very fair. They're crying, okay? And they're not crying out of happiness, that I could understand. They're crying out of despair. But then out of the blue, he was saying to himself, we got a problem here. Because Donald Trump has just won the great state of Michigan. And that was the ball game, folks. That was the ball game. Wisconsin, Michigan. Was that one of the greatest evenings of all time? And that was every network, every cable station, everything, everybody. Look at them all back there. Oh, they're loving this. They're loving this every once in a while. Don't worry, I'm not going to mention CNN's name. I'm not going to watch it. I won't mention NBC or ABC or CBS. I'm not going to mention. I'm not going to mention that you treat us very unfairly. But I think they're getting tired of it. You know why? Because we keep winning. It's driving them crazy. It's driving them crazy. So anyway, you're right, USA, nothing like it. Made in the USA. That's happening. They're all moving back, folks. Those companies are all moving back. So this young woman was incredible. And I said, that woman that did such a good job for all of us in Michigan, I think we have to move her to Washington, D.C. to run the Republican National Committee. And she's been there ever since, and she has done a fantastic job. Ronna McDaniel. Come up, Ronna. And she actually is very good on television, too. Just say a couple of quick things.
You guys already heard it. The president was in Michigan the night before we won in 2016. He's in Missouri tonight. You need to deliver a win.
Thank you, folks. That's great. Great job. Great job. What a group. I always said that women are smarter than men. Sorry, men, but we understand it, right? Men, do we understand it? No, these are great people. They're great people, and they're our friends, and they work hard for us, and they could be doing other things, but they love what they're doing. They love what we're accomplishing. And tomorrow, the people of Missouri are going to send Josh Hawley to the United States Senate to keep America's economic boom going full speed ahead. In less than 2 years' time, we have accomplished more than anyone could have ever imagined. We are so far ahead of schedule. If I ever said what we've done along the campaign trail, they would have never, ever let it happen. They would have gone out and said, he's exaggerating. Except for one problem. We've done far more than we ever said we could do. And America's extraordinary comeback is the envy of the entire world. The whole world is talking about it. We're the hottest nation in the world. We're the hottest. And I have great respect for China, and President Xi's a friend of mine. Although he doesn't like me as much lately, but that's okay. He'll be back. But he said he'll have to get over it. Only a person from Missouri could say that. Who said that? No, we're doing well, and we're doing well with everything, frankly. But I will say we have to get out tomorrow, and we have to elect a Republican Congress. We have to do it. We've got to stop crying Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi from erasing everything that we've gained. Our economy is setting records on a daily basis. There is no place I would rather be for the last stop of this campaign than right here in Missouri with the incredible men and women who make our country run. This is my last stop. Thank you. Thank you. You know, we're changing the slogan. It's Make America Great Again. Greatest slogan of all time. Greatest slogan. But you know what? We can't use it for the second four, right? Because, like, they'd say, well, I thought you were going to make it great. What are you doing using it again? So our new slogan will be in another year, Keep America Great. Keep America great. That's true. Because the wrong people follow us in office, it can all be gone. All of those 401ks where your wife or your husband thinks you're a super genius, a great financial genius, because you're up 51%, you're up 60%, you're up 42%. My husband's a genius, but for their whole marriage of 20 years, she was screaming at him, cursing at him, saying, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Now all of a sudden, he's a genius. You're looking very good. You're looking very good. But I have to say, so this is my last stop, right? I told you. Left Ohio. Left Georgia yesterday. Left all these great states. Montana. Big sky, big sky. We left all of these great states. We covered a lot of territory. My last stop is here. I think for one reason, and I have to say it, because this is the home of Rush Limbaugh. And David Limbaugh. David, thank you. David. Thank you, David. Great lawyer. I hear David's a great lawyer. Right, David? David told me. No, but Sean told me. Everybody tells me. Thank you, David. But this is the home of Rush, and what he did today was fantastic, because he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. This is his home. He loves Missouri, and it's very important. Also, this is the place that Josh is running. Josh is a young, incredible guy with tremendous talent. He will serve this country so well. He will represent Missouri so well. And he's actually leading. He's actually leading. He's actually leading. For decades, Washington only served the powerful and the well-connected. Those days are over. Together, we are the voice for every citizen who has ever been overlooked, abandoned, neglected, ignored. You remember the word, the deplorables. Oh, that was a good speech. I don't know, did the speechwriter for the deplorable speech, did that person get fired immediately or the following week? Wow, did he give us a great gift. But the deplorables are the greatest people on earth. They're the smartest. Is there a doctor in the house, please? Doctor? Doctor, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Take your time. Doctor, take your time. We have plenty of time, right? Thank you, doctor. Take your time, doctor. Thank you. That's fine. Take your time. Don't rush it. That's one of our great people right there. Take your time. Thank you. Thank you. Say a little prayer. Go ahead. Say a little prayer. That's good. That's good. Say a little prayer. Take your time, Doug. Take your time. Relax. Take your time. Thank you. We've got plenty of time, right? That was really something. I want to just thank everybody for the way you behaved. That was beautiful. And that at the end was beautiful. Amazing Grace, thank you very much. That was beautiful. Hopefully she'll be okay. Hopefully she'll be okay. I want to just say that tomorrow's so important. Josh Hawley is an amazing fighter. We need to keep this jobs boom going. We need to keep our country going the way it is. You saw what was announced on Friday. Friday was incredible. It was incredible. The jobs numbers, last month alone, we added 250,000 brand new jobs. The unemployment rate is at its lowest level in more than 50 years. We've created 4.5 million new jobs since Election Day, and we have lifted 4.3 million Americans off of food stamps. African American, Hispanic American, and Asian American unemployment have all reached their lowest levels in history. We have brought African American and Hispanic American poverty levels to their lowest point ever recorded. There has never been a better time for the American worker. We passed a massive tax cut for Missouri workers and for the United States. And we will soon follow it up with another 10% tax cut for the middle class. And to protect your rights and your freedoms, we overcame the Democrat smear campaign and confirmed the newest member of the United States Supreme Court, Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And you saw what happened on Friday also. We had great jobs numbers, but we also had something else. The accuser of Brett Kavanaugh, a man who is a fine man, the accuser admitted she never met him, she never saw him, he never touched her, talked to her, he had nothing to do with her. She made up the story. It was false accusations. It was a scam. It was fake. It was all fake. And you know, when that came about, people were calling for him to immediately get out. Think of that. Think if he would have done that, and then we found out that it was all false. accusations, false statements, a made-up story. And let's look at the rest of them, please. Let's look at the rest of them. Because that man suffered. You know, when I decided it was going to be him, and it was early, because honestly, for 10 years I've been hearing about a man named Judge Brett Kavanaugh. I've been hearing about it for a long time. And they all said he's fantastic. Intellectually, he's a great scholar. And he will someday be on the Supreme Court. Now, that was 10 years ago. Can you believe it? And little did I think I'd be the one appointing him. But I'll never forget, Rush. I'll never forget this, Rush. I brought him to the White House. And I said, Judge, then Judge, now Justice. I said, Judge Kavanaugh, I want to congratulate you. I'm choosing you to serve on the United States Supreme Court. And he said, this is the greatest honor of my life. I would like to thank you, Mr. President. And I said, Judge, by the way, just so you know, this is going to go so quick. This is going to be so easy. You have led such an incredible, exemplary life. This is going to go so fast. No problem. And then it began. And then it began. And he hung in there. And I hung in there too, by the way. I hung in there too. False accusations. False accusations. They want to ruin a man or a woman. Ruin a man. And it was headed up all by the Democrats. All by the Democrats. Right? All by the Democrats. Dianne Feinstein with Did You Leak? A great, great, brave soldier from Vietnam, except he never saw Vietnam. Da Nang Dick, you know, Da Nang. He's from Da Nang. We charged up the hill. Soldiers were falling left and right. But I was protecting them. I was there. Except he never saw Vietnam. And then he gets up and he says, we demand honesty. We demand the truth. Can you believe this? This could only happen to us. This can only happen to us. In any event, we energized the Republican Party with that. The Democrats overplayed their hand, just as they overplay their hand with a lot of things. They overplayed their hand, like the Russia nonsense, Russia. Russia did it, it was Russia. They used it as an excuse by the Democrats for losing an election that they should have won because they have a big advantage in the Electoral College. Remember, they used to say, there is no way for Donald Trump to get 270. And they were right. We got 306. They were right. We got 306. They use that as an excuse, and they always overplay their hand. Got some bad people, and you have some good people over there, too, I have to be honest. But you got some bad people. The contrast in this election could not be more clear. Democrats produce mobs. That's what's happened. Republicans produce jobs. We are proudly joined by many terrific Missouri Republicans, including tonight, your great governor, has done a fantastic job, Mike Parson. Mike? And Mrs. Parson, great job. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Great job, Mike. And members of Congress, one of them stopped Washington about 3 weeks ago when he started doing his little auction deal, right? Billy. Does anybody know Billy Long? I have never heard an auctioneer so good. I've never heard an auctioneer as good, but he's a great congressman, more importantly, and he loves the people of this state, and he loves your state. Billy Long, congressman. Billy, A great guy. Did everybody see that a month ago? He started doing the auction thing, everybody. And these were hardened political people. They've heard it all. And they just stopped in their tracks. They said, what the hell is that? And it was our friend Billy. It was amazing. And another congressman from Missouri, always there for us, just like Billy. Somebody that's been there for the tax cuts, and there for regulation, and there for right to try, right to try. You know what right to try is? Big thing, big deal. It's a big deal. And he was there along with some really great people in the Republican Party to take care of our vets, to give them choice for the first time in 44 years. They've been trying for 44 years. Congressman Jason Smith. Thank you, Jason. If you don't want to be saying the words, Speaker of the House Pelosi, for the next 2 years, get out and vote for Billy and Jason. They don't really need your vote, but get out and do it anyway because, wow, that would be a story. We don't want to be complacent. We don't want to be there. Great people, so get out and vote for your congressmen and women. Tomorrow, the people of Missouri are going to elect a truly outstanding new senator. Josh Hawley will be a tireless champion for the great people of Missouri. He is great on jobs. He is great on cutting taxes. And there is nobody tougher on crime. He shares your values, and he will always support our military, our vets, and our great law enforcement. Josh is running against an extreme liberal Democrat named Claire McCaskill. She got lucky the last time. She was way down the last time, and somebody running, it didn't look too good. She got a little bit, she got a pass, let's put it that way. She got a pass. It was a sad thing that happened. That whole thing was a sad thing in many ways. Anyway, she got in. And now Josh is actually up slightly in the polls. Just came out. But she was going down. And then she said, the Democrats are crazy. And I said, that's genius for getting elected. I give her credit for that. She's taking a lot of heat, but she'll patch it up over one lunch a day after the election. If she wins, but I hope that's not going to. If she doesn't win, then she's going to have long-term trouble. But she said, the Democrats are crazy. And then she said, and I agree with our president on border security. I agree. All of a sudden, she agrees with me. I'm in office for almost 2 years. All of a sudden, she's agreeing. Look, folks, just so you understand, so the election's tomorrow, Tuesday. On Wednesday, she will no longer agree with me on border security. No longer. No longer. A vote for Clara McCaskill is a vote for Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the legendary Maxine Waters. And more important, it's a vote for their horrible socialist agenda. Clara McCaskill will be a disaster for jobs, for your families, for your state. And again, on Wednesday, she will no longer remember anything she said, and she will never, ever vote for us on the big things where we need her vote, ever. Just like she didn't vote for Judge Kavanaugh. She's not going to vote for us. And that's the way it is. It's very simple. And while I very much appreciate her great support out of nowhere along the border, it disappears on Wednesday morning. Claire voted against middle-class tax cuts. She voted against Neil Gorsuch. And Claire joined the Democrat mob in voting against Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Claire McCaskill has one of the most open border voting records in all of Congress. Claire McCaskill voted no on Kate's Law, and she voted no on enhanced vetting for refugees. Let's just let them in, let them in, let them in. And Claire voted in favor of deadly sanctuary cities. She would rather protect criminal aliens than American citizens, which is why she needs to be voted out of office tomorrow, please. If you want jobs and if you want safety, you have only one choice. A young, talented man who's going to be, I tell you, I really believe this, he's going to go down as one of our great senators, Josh Hawley. Josh, come on up, Josh.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Isn't it incredible to have President Donald Trump in Southeast Missouri? You know, Senator Claire McCaskill said that she could give up a few votes in the Boot Hill. Did you hear that? I bet she regrets it now. President Trump won the state of Missouri by 20 points. How about that? 20 points. And he has delivered for this state. But you would think with a record like the president's that the career politicians in Washington, D.C. would get the message, but Claire McCaskill sure hasn't. She hasn't heard a word you said in 2016. President Trump has been fighting to put pro-Constitution, pro-America judges on the bench like Brett Kavanaugh. But Claire McCaskill voted no. President Trump is securing our border. But Claire McCaskill is sponsoring the most radical open borders bill in the history of the United States Congress. She voted for amnesty. She voted for amnesty. She has called the border wall embarrassing. That's her word. And she's mocked the president for wanting to have it. Does that represent us? I don't think so. President Trump lowered your taxes, but Claire McCaskill voted no. She's voted to raise your taxes over 200 times, and President Trump has fought to roll back regulations on our family farms and family businesses like the waters of the United States rule. It's gone because of him. But Claire McCaskill voted for every far-left environmentalist regulation the Obama administration could dream of. She even voted to keep the waters of the United States rule. But I have to say, maybe Senator McCaskill's record shouldn't be such a surprise, because she did say that she thought the reason President Trump got elected was because of the Russians. That's what she said. She told a journalist that, because of the Russians. What she doesn't realize is President Trump got elected because of the Missourians. And we're going to re-elect him. That's right. That's right. The more I listen to Claire McCaskill, the more she reminds me of another career politician that President Trump defeated in 2016. The person that Claire McCaskill thought should be president. Do you know what I'm talking about? Hillary Rodham Clinton. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Senator McCaskill has spent a lifetime in politics, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill has made a boatload in federal money, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill voted for amnesty, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill is for open borders, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill is for activist liberal judges, just like Hillary. Senator McCaskill even has a phony foundation that makes millions of dollars a year and pays nothing in taxes, just like Hillary. Tell you what, Senator McCaskill said that we all ought to call Hillary Madam President. Well, tomorrow, we're going to call Senator McCaskill fired. Thank you very much. God bless you.
That's great. So everybody get out and vote for Josh Hawley tomorrow. So important. He will be one of the leaders of the Senate in a short period of time. He's a very special person, and he will never, ever let you down. I know that about him. If Democrats gain power on Tuesday, one of their very first projects will be a socialist takeover of American health care. You know what's happening, and your taxes are going to triple, maybe quadruple. You're not going to be happy. I know you well. The Democrat plan would obliterate Obamacare. It will also, which is good, but leave the bad parts behind. It will destroy Medicare. And by the way, did you notice we got rid of the individual mandate in Obamacare? Right? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the individual mandate, most unpopular thing, and it's going to be gone. Soon Obamacare will be gone. We actually had it. We missed one vote. One vote! One vote. That was a little bit of a surprise to us at 2 o'clock in the morning. One vote. But we didn't get any Democrat votes. If Claire McCaskill, we would have repealed it and replaced it. But essentially, it's being obliterated anyway, and it's going to be, you're going to have great advantages with health care when you see what we're doing. We want to watch if they win. They will eliminate Medicare Advantage for more than 411,000 Missouri seniors. Republicans will protect Medicare for our great seniors who earned it and who, by the way, have paid for it. You know that, right? You know that. And Republicans will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions, always. We are protecting patients. The Democrats' plan to destroy health care also includes raiding Medicare to fund benefits for illegal immigrants. Somehow that doesn't work well in Missouri. It's a common sense people, by the way. It's all about common sense. You know that. They say, are you a conservative? I say, yeah, I'm conservative. But you know what it's common sense. Most of it's all common sense, folks. It's common sense. You know what it's called? It's called we have to do what's right. We have to have borders. Without borders, we don't have a country. We have to do what's right. We can't let foreign nations take advantage of us. They've been taken for years and years, taking advantage of us. We can't allow it to happen. It's not going to happen anymore. We can't protect rich nations, really, really successful rich nations. We protect them, and they don't pay us for the protection, or they pay us a small fraction. It's not fair. And I tell them, sorry, it's not fair. And we're working it out. You're talking about a lot of money. You're talking about a lot of money. As we speak, Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to break our laws and violate our borders. And they want to sign them up for free welfare, free health care, free education, and most importantly, they want to give them the right to vote. I can't imagine why. Democrats' immigration policies are extreme, dangerous, reckless, and insane. They support catch and release. They want to free criminal aliens. They want no protections for American workers and taxpayers. And they want totally open borders, which means crime will pour into our country. Illegal immigration costs our country more than $100 billion every year, and that's more than the budgets of Missouri, Indiana, and Wisconsin combined. I mentioned those places. You know why? Because we have very important races in those places, and we have all these Academy Award type cameras going back there. We want to win in those places too. A nation ought to take care of its own citizens first. Nearly 100% of the heroin in the United States enters through the southern border, along with roughly 90% of cocaine, the majority of meth, and a substantial portion of deadly fentanyl. These drugs kill more than 70,000 Americans a year and destroy the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Last year alone, our brave ICE officers arrested more than 127,000 illegal aliens. And they had criminal records, including those charged or convicted of approximately 48,000 assaults, 12,000 sex crimes, and 1,800 homicides. But despite that, the Democrats want to abolish ICE. They want to abolish ICE. They want America to be a giant sanctuary city for gang members and MS-13 killers. Republicans believe America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. Right? We will always stand for the heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement. And by the way, I met a lot of your law enforcement back there. You have great law enforcement police in Missouri. They're great people. Among the most underappreciated people in this country, law enforcement. Among the most dangerous, tough. It's a tough job, but they are great people, and they love our country. This election is about security, and this election is about prosperity. For years you watched as we let foreign countries plunder our wealth, shutter our factories, and steal our jobs. No more, Missouri, no more. Not going to happen. America is respected again. We are respected. We have added 500,000 new manufacturing jobs since the election. Last month alone, we added another 32,000 manufacturing jobs. That's 1,000 new manufacturing jobs every single day. And the previous administrations said it could not be done. And those are among our best jobs. I recently announced that we are replacing the horrible NAFTA deal with an incredible brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that everybody is for. The USMCA is a giant victory for Missouri farmers, factory workers, and dairy producers. And the other thing I did, and I'll just mention, for those of you that love your children, does anybody love your children in the audience? For those of you that love your children, and you want to leave your small farm or your ranch or anything you have, including a small business, to your children. You now have no death tax to pay. You now have no estate tax to pay. So if you don't love your children, or if your children treat you badly, and you have no intention of leaving your farm or your other valuables to your children, because your children are just no good, then just forget what I just said, because it's not going to help you. But if you want to leave them that farm, and you pass, and what happens is they go out and they have to borrow and they mortgage it to the hilt. It's called mortgaging the farm. You know, it's an expression. You got to mortgage the farm. They mortgage the farm to pay the estate taxes, or death taxes as it's called. They don't have to do that anymore. They don't have to do that anymore. It's gone. That's a big thing. And the Democrats fought us on that one too, but we got it by. We have taken historic action to bring back American jobs by cracking down on China's abusive trade practices. And we're doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very, very well. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars in taxes from things that are sold to us. And China wants to make a deal, and that's fine with me. After years of rebuilding other countries, we are finally rebuilding our country. And we are doing it with American iron, American aluminum, and American steel. And thanks to our beautifully placed tariffs and very tough trade policies, America's steel and aluminum mills are roaring back to life like nobody has ever seen. Right here in Missouri, a company named Magnitude 7 Metals. Whoa. Whoa. That's good. Well, that I didn't expect. That's nice. You like that company, don't you? Is reopening an aluminum smelter and creating 450 brand new jobs. Would never have happened. Every day it's promises made, promises kept. We have also taken bold action to reduce the price of prescription drugs. Happening. I called up Pfizer. I called up Novartis. And they were great. They rolled back their prices. That's when I realized how powerful this office is. When you can get the drug companies to roll back their increases back to where they were. And I appreciate the fact that they did it. And we have just offered a new affordable health care plan in Missouri that costs 71% less than the horrible Obamacare disaster. And there's more coming. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a private doctor rather than waiting online for weeks and months to see a doctor. "44 years they tried to pass it. And I came up with that idea, and I thought it was brilliant. And I went back to my people and I said, you know what we'll do? There's no way there's so many people in line. It takes months and months. I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have those people get offline, go outside, see a doctor, and we'll pay for the doctor. I said, I'm so smart. I am the most brilliant human being that has ever lived. And I went to my people, and I said, do this. Do it. They said, sir, we've been trying to get it passed for about 44 years. I said, oh. So it wasn't my idea. But you know what? I'm the only one that got it passed. That's even tougher. That's even tougher. That's even tougher. And we also got passed the landmark VA accountability law to ensure anyone who mistreats our great veterans will be held accountable. We will look at them and we will say, Jim, you're fired. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Get out of here. We secured $700 billion and $716 billion to fully rebuild the United States military, which had become so depleted. And we buy everything right here in the good old USA. Best. We make the best ships, the best submarines. We make the best rockets and missiles. We make the best jet fighters and bombers and tankers. We make the best tanks. We make the best everything. All here. And we gave our great warriors their largest pay raise in more than a decade. And at my direction, the Pentagon is now working to create the 6th branch of the American Armed Forces, called the Space Force. The Space Force. Very necessary. And I withdrew the United States from the horrible, one-sided Iran nuclear deal. It was a disaster. And if you haven't noticed, Iran is a much different country right now, but let's see what happens. We have recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Every other president, practically, going back many years, every other president promised it, and they never had the courage, or whatever it is, to get it done. And I know why, because everybody started calling, just like they did me. They'd call and call. When I realized what they were all calling about, I said, tell them I'll call them back in a week. Now, I was going to sign it in 4 days. So when I called them back, I said, Mr. King, Mr. Queen, Mr. whatever. I said, listen, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, what is it? Well, we want to talk to you about Israel and Jerusalem, but you've already done it. I said, oh, gee, I wish you got to me sooner. Because the calls were like from everybody. So I understand why other presidents didn't do it. But we did it, and that's a big thing. Together we have made extraordinary progress, and we are just getting started. This is the greatest political movement in the history of our country, what you've done. The greatest history of our country. 2 years ago, we shocked the Washington establishment and stunned the world. The entire world was stunned. We weren't stunned. We knew what was happening. We knew. When we defied the pundits and the critics and rejected the failures of the corrupt status quo and elected a government that finally puts America first. Every day, every single day, since every day, the failed old ruling class have been trying so hard. Oh, so hard. Wouldn't you think they'd like low taxes, strong military, nice borders, good schools, good health care, we'll get it done, good everything? They don't want that. They want to claw their way back into power. That's what they want. Because how can they be opposed to the strongest economy we've ever had? How can they be opposed to the greatest unemployment numbers in the history of our country, including for African Americans, Asians, and Hispanic Americans? How can they be opposed? There's got to be something else on their mind. Oh, I'm going to love that debate when I say we have the strongest economy in history, and the person over there is going to say why they should do better. Why they should do better. This is the same corrupt crew that shipped away your jobs, stole your wealth, and lined their pockets at your expense. You know that's what happened. Our opponents have been on a relentless campaign to obstruct, resist, demolish, defame, and destroy. Other than that, they're extremely nice. But you can stop them with your votes tomorrow. Got to get out there. Josh! Our movement is America's movement. You are moms and dads, sons and daughters, students and workers, farmers and soldiers. You follow our laws.
give back to our communities, and raise your children to be strong, upstanding citizens. You are loyal and faithful to your country. You love your country. And now, finally, you have a government and you have a president that is loyal and faithful to you. Right? Right? For years you watched as your leaders apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for Missouri. And we are proudly standing up for our great national anthem. I am asking every citizen from every party, every background, every race, color, and creed to reject the Democrat politics of anger, division, destruction, and to unite behind our proud, noble, and righteous destiny as Americans. That's what it is. I need you to get your family, get your friends, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, and go out and vote for Republican Congress, for Republican Senate. Go out and vote Republican tomorrow. This Tuesday, wait a minute here. This Tuesday in 15 minutes. We're almost into Tuesday. In fact, go home and sleep. Get up early and vote. I need the people of Missouri to seize this incredible moment in history by electing the great, and he will be someday, the great Josh Hawley as your next senator. Devoted citizen like you, all citizens like you, help build this country. And together we are taking back our country and returning power to the American people. That's what happened. Greatest movement in history. This incredible state was built by tough frontier men and strong pioneer women who braved the wilderness to build a life and home with their own two hands. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury. But they all had one thing in common. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. These courageous Americans did not shed their blood, sweat, and tears so that we could sit at home while others tried to erase their legacy, tear down our history, and destroy our proud and great American heritage. From the boot heel of Missouri to the beautiful big sky of Montana, from the deserts of Nevada to the Everglades of Florida, from the coal mines of West Virginia to the steel mills of Indiana, and for every family in every city and town all across our land. We are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win, 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 and not stop winning. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never, ever back down.
We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory. Because we are Americans, and our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together, with love in our hearts and hope in our souls, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Missouri. Thank you.
The stakes are incredibly high, folks. You need to get out and vote. I don't think we can say much more than that. This is going to be a historic election, and it's going to determine the future of our country and the success of the presidency of this man, Donald J. Trump, who has in his first 2 years done more, in my opinion, than any other president has done for this country. Real action. If you want to see real action, you need to get out and vote. Don't be complacent.